I want to bring in former FBI agent Dennis Franks. He is now a licensed private investigator and a security consultant. Dennis, there is no other way to describe this than evil. But let's talk about what we know in this case and get your thoughts. First of all, police say that evidence was discovered and they believe the suspect to be homeless. What does that tell you about where they're placing their focus in the search?
Well, first of all, I want to say that my heart goes out to Brianna's family. I just cannot imagine. I mean, here's somebody who's working in a furniture store and somebody comes in and commits, a heinous attack. The homeless situation, I've read that the statistics in Los Angeles right now is that 8 out of 10 homicides in Los Angeles are gang or homeless related. There's been a 22% increase in homeless homicides in the last year. Homelessness is a problem. Obviously, it's a societal problem that needs to be dealt with. My heart goes out to those homeless people, and not everybody there is guilty of committing any crimes or having evil intent. But there's a presence there, obviously, that has it's just beyond criminal intent, or it's scary, quite frankly, that the situation has gotten to where it is with the homelessness in a lot of cities.
Yeah, but let me ask you, though, because by releasing that piece of information, I mean, the focus right now is on finding this killer who committed this brutal act. By releasing the suspect potentially is homeless, does that narrow the search for him? Does it cloud the effort to find him?
No, I think it does because, as an investigator, they're obviously going to collect all the video they can. Any city video, any stores videos, which, I think we've seen a lot of that already. And they're going to try to trace him as far as possible. Mm-hmm. And the second thing I would do as an investigator is go out and canvass homelessness. The homeless people, talk to them, show them the pictures. And every police out there, whether it's patrol officer or otherwise, has sources on the street. They would approach them, say, what do you know about this guy? What can you find out? Mm-hmm. I think it's just a matter of time before the identity of this person or the location of this person is discovered.
Right. And so we're watching the video moments after the attack. He's walking kind of casually through the alley behind the furniture store. Then we saw that new video of the convenience store about 30 minutes later. He walks into a 7-Eleven. He buys a vape pen. This is a really, really clear image. So, Dennis, I would imagine that the public plays a critical role right now in recognizing this person. Somebody knows who this guy is. We have a really good look at him.
Yeah, somebody knows him, and quite frankly, the size of the reward makes a difference. I think when there's a sizable reward out there, it gives incentive for people to step forward when they might not otherwise. And I think, again, that he will probably be discovered. I won't venture to say how long it'll take, but I think it will be pretty soon.
I hope for the sake of that community and for her family, it is any time now. Dennis, I want to talk about his behavior because I guess by all accounts, to me, it's peculiar. I mean, he just committed a heinous act. He stabbed this innocent woman inside of a store, and then he is walking casually, as I said, outside that alley. He kind of walks into the convenience store. He looks like just a normal guy who did not just commit a vicious crime. Tell me what you see with his behavior.
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, when I first saw him and the footage in the store, I had decades of observational training and skills, and it's not anything I would have noted, necessarily. I would not have seen him as a threat. And especially his behavior afterwards when he's just so casual. There's obviously some mental illness, I would think. You can say evil. That's part of it too. I think it's just one of those issues that as a society we have to deal with now, where you see somebody that is not they're not an obvious threat. And although I think there was some information that Brianna had texted somebody that she was feeling uncomfortable.
Right.
But casually, just somebody seeing him out and about and walking into a store, you're probably not, your radar is probably not going to go up.
Right. And given the act and the violence of it, the community is scared until this guy is caught. These types of events are so tragic, Dennis. They're random. They don't make any sense. I used the word evil earlier. I always look for something that we can learn, something we could have done to prevent it, to stop it, something we can do next time so it doesn't happen again. And this one, it's hard to see that lesson.
I agree, Marnie, because it's a difficult situation. You know, the homelessness and whether or not he's homeless or that's a factor, it is certainly a concern. I mean, you know, if you go into any downtown in any big city now, homelessness is a problem. And it seems to me in the last few years that the aggressiveness of some of the homeless people have stepped up. And again, my heart goes out to them because they're there because they don't feel like they belong or whatever their situation is. But yet, you know, they're innocent victims like Brianna. She didn't deserve this. Yeah. So I think as a society, we have to get a grip on what can be done.
Yeah, and there's a lot we don't know about this individual. There are plenty of homeless people out there who are not stabbing people in furniture stores. Dennis Franks, as always, we appreciate your insight. This is a tough one. I don't get it. Thank you, as always. And we want to show you another close-up image, that surveillance video, one more time, particularly if you were in that area. Someone knows something or recognizes this man or something about him. If you have information, contact investigators. The number is on your screen, 213-382-9470. Again, a $250,000 reward for information that leads to his arrest. Tragic. We will keep following this story right here on NewsNation Prime, and as we learn more updates, we will bring them to you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.